Hi, I'm Varun Hara. I'm Senior Editor with Information Security Media Group. I have the pleasure of speaking with Kelley, who's the Cybersecurity Field CTO with Microsoft. And we're going to be discussing cloud security and automation today. What intelligent automation can do for cloud security, where it's at, and where the market is headed. Hi, Dinah. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Dinah, how has digital transformation, and the extensive move to the cloud that we're seeing, how has it affected the way security is approached?
It's absolutely transformed business, and in some cases, the security engineers and the security professionals have been a little bit concerned about sort of catching up, because in some cases, the business has gone ahead of the security team. But the beautiful thing about cloud is it can be a security imperative. When we can gather the information and data in the cloud about threats, then we can increase our intelligence, and actually moving to the cloud can be a more secure model for organizations.
Sure. So, in all of this, in the current threat landscape and the current technology landscape, what is the relevance of automation and intelligent automation like we were discussing? What is it exactly?
It's very highly relevant because we've got a couple of sort of forcing points. One is there's a skills gap. We just don't have enough people to do the security. The second is that there's a lot of data in the cloud that can help us be smarter about security, but how do you get through all that data, especially if you don't have enough people to staff your security operations center? So automation is where you can begin to bridge that gap, to be able to help to empower the analysts so that they can identify and respond to threats more quickly and understand what those threats are in a much more rapid pace.
Okay, so intelligent automation, how do you achieve it in a sustainable manner? And what does a structured process for it look like?
As with anything in security, one of the most important things is to start small. Create really valuable use cases for your organization, identify where you want to implement the automation, and then start small, test it, refine and optimize, and make sure it's running very well before you start to scale it out to the rest of the company.
Right. And are there any milestones that you have to hit? Is there an order or a cadence in which you need to approach this?
Well, with automation, one of the most important orders is to make sure that the humans are very comfortable with anything that's become automated, especially if there's going to be a response. So automated response, whether it's blocking a port, removing a service from an endpoint, whatever that automated response, the human beings really want to make sure that they've monitored the application or the system or the service that is performing the automation, and they feel comfortable with the response that they're seeing and the ability to tune it in case it's not, automation doesn't mean perfect immediately. It means augmenting and creating help and assistance, so it's okay for humans to go through, see what the results are, and tune them if need be.
Right, it's a perfect opportunity for me to ask you this. I'm curious, what is the traction that automation has with security managers today, especially if it's intelligent? I mean, you're essentially talking about handing off critical security decision making to an automated response system. How comfortable are security managers with that?
It's really changing. If you'd asked that 10 years ago, I'd say, for the most part, not at all. Because the systems the concern was that if you block business, if you take an automated action that prevents a service from running or an application from running. Now there's a greater comfort level is growing. Managers can look at what that tool is doing, what actions it's proposing to take, and there's a lot of human assist in that you can use the automation to identify a problem, to recommend a fix, and then have a human look at what that is, make a decision, and then go ahead and implement it. So you don't have to go to this full, we trust everything to automation. You can phase it in and have the humans assess what's being done, and that makes for a lot more, a higher comfort level.
Right, so there is some cognitive oversight. It's not completely handed off, and there are some checks and balances in place as well.
Yes.
So, you've been speaking about this idea of data gravity.
Yeah.
What is it exactly that you're proposing?
Well, it's an idea that was originally posited just in data gravity in general by McCrory. And it's that as you have data, it creates its own gravitational pull. That means that applications and services are going to be drawn towards that data increasingly, especially if there's a need to reduce latency and there are any bandwidth issues. That again forces the applications and draws the applications and the services to the data. So taking that concept, we've expanded it to what can data gravity mean in a cybersecurity field. And we've really looked at, instead of taking all of the data and security data and log files and creating one big pile in your SOC that your SIEM then runs through, what if you did data analytics for cybersecurity where the data gravity is in those big data lakes, so for example in the cloud.
Right. And then share that back with the security operations center.
Exactly.
Case by case. All right, great. Thanks so much, Diana, for that insight.
Thank you.
Pleasure. So that was Diana Kelley, who is a cybersecurity field CTO with Microsoft. For ISMG, this is Varun Thanks for watching.